Americans in the Great Depression faced such a cost of living crisis that many were forced to accept a standard of living below what their parents and even their grandparents had. Fast forward about 90 years to today, and countless families are in the same boat. Many young people today don't think they'll ever be able to achieve the American dream of home ownership that their parents and their grandparents achieved. The worst inflation in 40 years, rising interest rates, and a collapse of real inflation-adjusted earnings means a huge step backwards financially for everybody. Hello everybody, Brian and Joanna with Mortgage Shots. Well, it is official. Americans now say it's the worst time ever to buy a house. And I say finally, some good news. What took you so long?
Just 21% say it's a good time to buy a house, according to a Gallup survey released Thursday. And that's tied with last year for the worst reading in Gallup history. An overwhelming majority of Americans, 76%, say it's a bad time to buy a house. That's just below the record of 78% just a year ago.
We have to remember what Marcus Aurelius said about 2,000 years ago. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. And you need to find the darn strength right now too, because houses will sit, listings will stack up, prices will drop, and then, only then, the hounds will get to feed.
What Brian's saying is that this is the first step in an inevitability that will lead to the opportunity to write loans that you're looking for. Think of it this way. For the market to change, we need to see disruption of some sort. This could be that disruption, because if the Gallup poll is right, then current demand is going to fall off a cliff. But that's just the short-term price we all have to pay for a real and permanent opportunity in a thriving mortgage market.
The last thing you want to see, like Barbara Corcoran said, is for rates to drop just a couple of points. Screw that. Keep up the pain and let's kickstart real change. The kind of change we actually need. Let me show you here. Here's a graph of inventory. We're on the right-hand side right now. Now, we don't look all that bad, do we? However, we currently have about the same inventory we had back in October of 1981, about 40 years ago, when the population was 229.5 million. Currently, we have a population of 333 million. So to put this whole thing in perspective, we have about 2/3 of what we had over 40 years ago. What does that tell me? It tells me we need more inventory, and lots of it. So to this news that I heard about people not thinking it's a great time to buy a house, I say that's fantastic.
According to the Heritage Foundation, green housing mandates are pushing Americans more into the red. First point, new green energy mandates will add $31,000 to the cost of a new home. Second, as a result, amid a cost of living crisis, renters today are paying more than ever in housing costs, with half of them reporting difficulty paying their rent on time. And third, Americans need relief, not regulation, in their struggle to find affordable housing.
It's kind of like the Fed's inflation-busting moves over the past couple of years, to get everything better by raising their rates and reducing their balance sheet. As a result, sure, it's great that now a loaf of bread is half the price it was just a couple of years ago. The problem is, in the process of their moves, I'm broke and I can no longer afford that loaf of bread. Well done, Fed. Well done. Now, with respect to green financing, what say you? I say, let's put a moratorium on new green energy mandates right now until we can actually afford to live indoors once again. Doesn't matter if we have green mandates if we're living in tents underneath freeway overpasses, now does it?
Because that's the price we're paying. I want you to look at this. Here's a few pictures of the Great Depression versus pictures of today. And I mean this. Can you tell which one is which?
I just want to start a flame in your heart.